Car Obsession is proudly supported by Exchange My Car, Carly and Draggy. For a limited time only, use Car Obsession 10 to get money off with Carly, and there's also a discount code for Draggy as well, which again is Car Obsession 10. All of the details are in the video description below. Hello guys, welcome back to Car Obsession and welcome to another walk around. This time I'm joined by the brand new Honda HR-V Hybrid. So as always, I will take you around the car, talk you through the specification and give you my first impressions. Now it is a bit breezy today, so if there is some wind noise on the audio, I do apologise in advance. The new Honda HR-V is available in 3 trim levels: Elegance, Advance or Advanced Style, which is what I have here. In regards to pricing, the Elegance has a starting price of £29,410. The Advance has a starting price around £31,800, and then of course you have this, which has a starting price of £34,850. As standard on the Advanced Style, you do get a 2-tone paintwork, but this car does have the optional and very pleasing Midnight Blue Beam Metallic. Now this paint is a £625 option, but to my knowledge, that is the only option fitted to this car. As you can see, it is contrasted with a silver roof, and I think it looks very, very nice indeed. Now, it doesn't matter which trim level you go for, they all come with 18-inch alloys. They are all the same design, which I do find a little bit surprising. I thought maybe the range topper may have larger alloys or a different design, but no, these are the same as what you would get on the base model. And I'm glad that Honda hasn't fallen into the trap of fitting larger alloys to a small SUV or crossover. For example, the brand new Nissan Juke, or no, sorry, is it the Juke or the Qashqai? So I think the Qashqai, that is available with 20-inch alloys, and I think that is excessive to say the least. Yeah, I think it is the Qashqai, not the Juke. But yes, I'm glad that Honda hasn't fitted oversized alloys to this car, because it means the ride comfort is very, very good. This is a very pleasant car to drive. Now, as well as the 2-tone paintwork, the 18-inch alloys, what else do you get as standard? I've got keyless entry, front and rear LED lights, front and rear parking sensors, a reversing camera, heated front seats, heated steering wheel, 9-inch Honda Connect system with Bluetooth, DAB radio, and smartphone connectivity. I don't believe it has navigation, actually. I'll need to double check that. You have, this is the first Honda HR-V to feature the Honda Sensing safety system. So I've got autonomous emergency braking, which has been improved for nighttime. I've got blind spot monitoring, rear cross traffic alert, adaptive cruise control, automatic lights. So yes, this car has got a good host of safety systems. Oh, I forgot to mention, it also has traffic sign recognition. But despite this, the new HR-V wasn't able to secure 5 stars in the latest round of Euro NCAP testing. No, instead this got 4 stars. So if you're looking for something that is uber safe, then you may want to look elsewhere, but I do want to stress this car is far from a death trap. This also has lane departure warning, which I haven't mentioned. Let me take you inside the car, and one thing that hit me when I first took delivery of the car was just how nice the upholstery is. So you get this cream leather, which is contrasted with this kind of orangey red stitching and this grey fabric in the middle. It's a really classy look, so Honda has done well here. You've also got the same colour stitching on the steering wheel as well. It is worth stressing that on the base model, you don't get a leather steering wheel, in case that is something that you are concerned about. Of course, it goes without saying, you get front and rear electric windows, very standard nowadays. Oh, one thing I haven't mentioned, I will come back to the cabin. Also, as standard on the Advanced Style, I do get a hands-free power tailgate, which normally works first time, but oh, I thought it was going to mug me off on camera, but no. Now, the boot is a bit of a disappointing area for the HR-V. This is a hybrid, and what Honda has done it has put the battery for the hybrid system under the boot floor, which is good and bad. It's good in the sense that it doesn't eat up any space for the occupants in the cabin, but it's bad news in the fact that it makes the boot smaller. The previous HRV that had a boot that had a capacity of over 400 litres. In regard to what it was more specifically, I will drop that in as a caption. But for the new car, you have to make do with 335 litres, which isn't exactly minuscule, but it does lag behind rivals. So if you want a crossover or small SUV with a larger boot, then you may want to look elsewhere. Although, because of the dimensions of this car, which I will go through in a few moments, this kind of sits between a small SUV and a medium-sized SUV. So it's kind of made its own segment in the market, because yes, it is more expensive compared to cars such as the Seat Arona or the Nissan Juke, etc. But it's a bit larger than them, so it's almost in the boundaries of a Nissan Qashqai, for example. But if you want more space in the boot, you can of course fold down the 60/40 rear seats to give you just over 1,300 litres. Now it is worth stressing that as part of the advanced style, I do get a premium sound system, therefore you do get a sub or an amp in the boot, and that does take up a bit of room. So although this would normally offer 335 litres, you're looking more around 320, and with the rear seats down, that's going to be a little under 1,300 litres. You'll be pleased to know that the Magic seats are still in place. Now, if you don't know about Honda's Magic seats, they've been around for quite some time, and it is a very clever system. So for starters, when you fold the rear seats down, they fold completely flat. So if you want to go to IKEA or B&Q, or if you want to do a dump run, that will make it easier to load bigger, heavier items. It just gives you better flexibility. Speaking of flexibility, if I put the seat back up, it's always annoying, it does that when you fold the rear seats down. You can actually lift the base of the seat and lock it into place like so, and then all of a sudden you can transport taller items. So that is a very clever system. So yes, that has remained on the new HRV. So if you were fearful that it has been taken away, fear not, it is still here. So whilst I'm here, let me talk about the rear space. I will go to the other side. As always, the driver's seat has been set for me. I'm 6'2", so I am of course a taller chap, but as you can hopefully see, I have a lot of space in which to step into. So let me do that. Now, as you can hopefully see, I have got loads of knee room. Look at that. I have acres, and I've got loads of leg room as well. Because the HRV is coupe inspired in regard to its design, and therefore has a bit of a swooping roofline, it does mean that headroom isn't the greatest. So as I mentioned, I'm 6'2", and I've just about got enough room. If you were taller, you may struggle. Now, of course, I think it goes without saying that fitting 3 adults in the back of the HRV is going to be a squeeze, but for 2 adults, it should be absolutely fine. Now, let's speak about practicality, which is a mixed bag. The reason I say that is because, yes, you do have a cubby for a bottle, a small bottle, 500 millilitres. That's all you get. You get a little slot here, but you don't get a proper door bin as such. And by Honda standards, I do find that disappointing. You do, of course, get map pockets, a little cubby down here, as well as, pardon me, as well as 2 USB ports, which you can't see. Let me take you off my little tripod. There we go, 2 USB ports, and you also have ventilation as well. In the middle, you have the centre armrest, which you saw a few moments ago, and annoyingly, it doesn't really lock into place. It just kind of flops about and just rests on the seat. So I don't know why Honda has done that. I've never seen an armrest that just flops down like that. So I would prefer it to lock into place, but no, it just kind of droops down a little bit. You don't get a feed through hatch, so if you want to feed through longer items such as skis, you can't do that. But to be fair, I can't think of many cars in this class in which you can, so it's not exactly a problem that is exclusive to the HRV. Now, it goes without saying, but you do of course get ISOFIX points, so if you're concerned about carrying children, then fear not, because of course this car has you covered. Anything else to speak about in the rear? No, let me step out. Now, I would say perhaps I'd want the rear doors to open a bit wider. The entry in and out isn't the greatest, and if you've got someone in your family that perhaps has mobility issues, or if you're trying to fit a child seat, it may be a bit of a pain. And as you can see there, the wheel arch does protrude a little bit into the entry as well. Now, I teased the dimensions a few moments ago. So the length of this car is 4.34 metres. The height is 1.5, I think 1.5, yeah, about 1.5 metres, well, a little bit over. The ground clearance has actually been increased by a centimetre, meaning it's now 19 centimetres. And in regards to the car's width, with the door mirrors unfolded, you're looking around 2 metres. So to give you an idea of how big the car is. As well as offering more ground clearance in the new car, the height of the new car has been dropped by 2 centimetres, I should say. Beg my pardon. Let me take you back into the front of the car. Yeah, it is quite a nice place to be. Let me just take you off my tripod once more. Pop that just down here. Now, you do have some harder plastics on the dash, but the advantage of that is that it will be harder wearing over time, so it'll mean it'll be more durable, so that isn't necessarily a bad thing. And it is treated with some nice interior finishes with this cream leather, which is probably synthetic leather to be fair, but that doesn't really matter. And you've got this kind of browny bronze finish around the gear lever. Well, I say gear lever, this hasn't really got a transmission as such, but you get what I mean. Yeah, it is a pleasant place to be. You've got the 9-inch touchscreen, which has the new Honda Connect system on it. In fact, let me fire everything up. So the system is improved, but in all honesty, compared to the old system, that wasn't particularly difficult. I think even if Honda just got an Etch-a-Sketch and blue tacked it to the dash, I think that would be better than the old system, if I'm going to be honest. But yeah, the new system is better. It's more responsive. It is slicker. But if I'm going to be critical, and to be fair, that's why I'm kind of here, I would say, in my opinion, it does look rather aftermarket. But of course, you can completely bypass it with Apple CarPlay, which you can use with a cable or wirelessly, or Android Auto, which you can't use wirelessly. So I have an Android phone, so I have to use a cable. I've got dual zone climate control, heated front seats, as I may have mentioned, a heated steering wheel, which on a day like today I don't need. And you've also got something quite innovative. You may find it boring, but I think it's quite clever. Honda calls it an air diffusion system. Now, you have two vents here, this one here, and this L-shaped one, or kind of like a boomerang-shaped one here. The idea is that with this one, it will blow air around and above you, so when you have the climate control on, you don't have that intense air blowing straight in your face. Now, if you do prefer to have air blowing straight in your face, you can twist this to the left-hand side, and that activates this vent here. But do that, that activates that one, and that's a much more gentle stream of air, but it still cools you down, or you can just turn it off completely if you don't want to have it. In regard to storage in the front, again, that is a bit of a mixed bag. The door bins aren't as big as I was hoping. Yes, you can fit this bottle here, but that's only 500 millilitres. I do have a 1 litre bottle, but it simply won't fit. And you do have a bit of space left over for some smaller items. You've got a little cubby just here, so you can keep things out of sight, which is quite handy. A wireless phone charging pad, which comes as standard, and as you can see on the left hand side, you've got a 12-volt socket, 2 USB ports, as well as a little handy shelf where you can store some smaller items. That's quite clever. 2 cup holders, which is pretty standard, isn't it? And under the centre armrest, you've got a little bit of space in there. And of course, that leaves the glove box, which is a pretty fair size. So I would say my only complaint about the front is I would like the door bins to be bigger. So a very similar complaint to the rear. I do like the fact that this has got a slight padding to it, so on a longer drive you can kind of rest your leg on it and it gives you a bit of added comfort. You have 3 driving modes. So you have Econ, which gives you more economical driving, Normal, which is obviously normal, and Sport, all pretty straightforward. Now I will speak about the engine in due course. This car does also have hill descent control and a brake hold. Anything else to go through with you here? You don't get a fully digital dash. You do get a digital display on the left hand side, so if I get rid of that, you'll see that's fully digital. This is digital in the middle, but you get an analog speedo on the right hand side. Although the way how it's backlit, it does look as if it is fully digital, but as you can see, you do have this needle here, which is a physical part, although it does look like a graphic. Yeah, overall, I've got no complaints with the inside of the, well, I do have some complaints about the door bins, but on the whole, I've got little complaint about the interior. Getting a good, comfortable driving position is easy. The steering wheel's got plenty of adjustment, and so does the driver's seat, although none of it is electric, it's all manual, which am I a bit disappointed about? Yeah, I'd say for the price, I was expecting to have some electronical adjustment for the seat, but never mind. Electronical? I've just made it up, haven't I? You know what I mean. Now let me go through the engine. Now this car is of course a hybrid. So the new HR-V is the first generation to enter Honda's eHEV lineup, and that stands for Hybrid Electric Vehicle. What does the first E stand for? No idea. I think it's there just to be trendy. So it makes use of a 1.5 Atkinson Cycle petrol engine, which is made to 2 electric motors, although one of the electric motors doesn't actually provide power to the wheels. It is more of a generator. Well, it is a generator. So you're looking at around 130 horsepower and 252 newton meters of torque. If you prefer that in pound-feet, that is 187. Now I'm sure you're not very fussed about the performance, but in case you are, this will hit 62 miles per hour in 10.6 seconds, and the top speed is around 110 miles per hour, there or thereabouts. Of course, you're more likely to be interested in fuel economy. So on a combined run, Honda states that this can offer around 52 mpg, and on my drive here this morning, I got 49 mpg. CO2 emissions are as little as 122 grams per kilometre. So in regard to the VED cost, well, the first year VED cost, I will drop that down as a caption. So this has 3 ways of driving. You have EV mode, hybrid mode, or engine mode. In EV mode, very straightforward. The engine is not engaged at all, and the car uses the electric motor to propel you along. That's only really used for short distances and also in town. Sometimes when you're cruising on the motorway, it will kick into EV for a little bit, providing there is enough charge in the battery, which is located under the boot floor. Hybrid mode. In this mode, the engine will act as a generator for the electric motor, as well as putting any excess power back into the battery, which is quite clever. The engine is only used to drive the front wheels. You can't have this in all-wheel drive, only front-wheel drive. The engine is only used to drive the front wheels in engine mode. Now, you've got this system is very clever. I've actually done some research into it. I would urge you to look into it. There's some very interesting YouTube videos out there. But you have a clutch plate so the clutch locks, and in turn that disengages the electric motor and it connects the engine directly to the wheels to give you drive. Now, engine mode will happen at faster speeds, let's say for argument's sake 45 miles per hour plus. It can vary, of course, depending on factors and so forth and conditions, but yes, engine mode, only the engine gets involved. But not only does it drive the front wheels, I'm pretty sure any excess power would be put into the battery. This does, of course, have regenerative braking, and if I take you back inside the car on the gear selector, if you want to call it a selector, because technically speaking, this car hasn't got a transmission, but again, that's very in-depth and not that difficult to explain, but it would take more time than I'd want to explain it in this video. But on the selector you have a B mode as well as D. The B mode basically gives you regenerative braking, and you may have spotted the paddles on the steering wheel. They are not to change gears because, like I say, this car doesn't have a traditional transmission as such. They are used to increase or decrease the strength of the regenerative braking. This is the only engine choice available for the new HR-V. So if you're looking for a small SUV or crossover that has plenty of engine choices, then this won't be the car for you. But if you're looking for something frugal and something that'll be relatively cheap to run, although let's face it, with the price of fuel at the moment, nothing is cheap to run, then this will be the car for you. This is not a plug-in hybrid, this is a self-charging hybrid. So if you're wondering if you can plug it in to get more range, no, it doesn't work like that. And if you're wondering how far you can drive on EV only, well, this morning when I started the car up, it started in EV only mode. I got about half a mile before the engine cut in and the car went into hybrid mode. You don't really notice the change happening. There's very little on the dash to let you know what's going on. It just does it all by itself, and it's very clever and very intelligent. The only thing I will say is that you will know when it's in EV mode because you have a little EV icon appear on the instrument cluster. But yes, that is everything on the HR-V hybrid. Just close the bonnet down. Sadly, the sun isn't shining, but when it does, it really highlights just how lovely this midnight blue beam metallic paintwork is. It is a really beautiful colour. The grille is body coloured, so if this car was silver, black or whatever, the grille would match, in case you're wondering. I think that's pretty much everything to go through on the HR-V. There will of course be a proper review coming where I'm driving the car. There'll be a point of view drive as well. I'm not going to promise, but I may do a video dedicated to the touchscreen as well, but we'll have to wait and see. Oh, that is a GT40. Oh, I don't know whether that's real or a replica, but it's still very nice. Anyway, yes, at the time of filming, just a stone's throw away from here, you have the Goodwood Festival of Speed. So I've had many nice cars go past, Ferraris, McLarens. I had an Aston Martin DB5 go past me earlier, so it's all very exciting. But yeah, I'm here filming the HR-V, which is not a bad thing, so I'm not going to grumble. Anyway, my time is up. I've been speaking for quite a long time, and I don't want to start boring you. If you have any questions or queries in regard to this car, please drop them in the comments section below, and I will answer you as quickly as I can and to the best of my ability. But yes, there we go, the brand new Honda HR-V hybrid. There we go. There we go. The sun's come out now, so you can really see. Hopefully, that paint, that is beautiful. I do hope you have enjoyed this video or found it useful. If so, be sure to like, comment and subscribe. If you are subscribed, don't forget to click the bell icon so you get notified every time I make a video. But until the next time guys, be sure to keep up the car obsession.